Okay. Noon on Monday. Time to go live. Hi, Missy. Nobody else is here yet, Missy. It's just you and me. So, oh, there's Kat. Hi, Kat. Um, yeah, we'll just wait until some people start coming in. Hi, Terry Brett. So, yeah, you guys, it's freezing ass cold here, and I'm not happy. Oh, I hate the cold. You know, the cold, I can deal with the cold kind of. I just put on 50 layers of clothes. Um, but I hate the gray. Hi, Starla. Yeah, I really, really, really hate the gray days. It's just icky. Hi, Teresa. So, but that's all the whining I'll do. I'll just sit here and freeze my butt off and whine about it. It's cold here for this time of year, in my opinion. It just is. It's like right now, 36 degrees. I think we're supposed to get 40 or something. Hi, April. Oh, that reminds me, April. I did get your Happy Meal out, everybody's Happy Meal, but I got to do some more stickers. And I was a little disappointed in how they turned out. Let me see where I put them. But they are what they are, so I guess you'll have to deal. I would just probably color them in brighter colors, but I did make a bunch of them, so I got to remember to do a sticker giveaway. Don't let me forget that, because that's the thing I will tend to forget. Hi, Christina. Yeah, I did last week. I spent some time, and I tried to do the photographs like Dee Dee does, and I think they were worse than if I just photocopied my actual artwork. So I ended up just photocopying my own artwork, and the colors dulled down a little bit. Not as bad as if it was on washi sticker paper, but yeah. Hi, Belinda. But yeah, I was just a little disappointed. I'll show you guys. Well, here's a complete set of them here. So see how they just kind of dulled down, and I don't have time to sit here and brighten them all up. So you can do that on your end. But and the ones that I colored on stream last time came out quite a bit better. So, hey, Dee Dee. So use your alcohol markers and just, they're yours. You can do what you want with them. But yeah. So here's a complete set of all the stickers, and I'll just give them away until they're gone. And then you can use them in the scavenger hunt. Another thing is, if you guys have scavenger hunt prompt ideas, you need to, yeah, you need to. Hi, Ellen. You need to get them to me, because here in the next couple weeks, I'm going to have to try and get those ready. But help me remember to do a giveaway today, if I read chat. And today what we're doing is just kind of an experiment, something I saw on Instagram and I thought it was very cool. So yeah, so I'm going to try it. They're not horrible, Terry, and I appreciate you saying that, but I really hope that they'd come out a little bit crisper. But you have to remember, it was my artwork, you know, like I never anticipated making a photocopy or anything else of them. So they are what they are. Who cares? What else? I don't know what else. Oh, um, I've been thinking about, hi, Barbara. I missed you at Dee Dee's this morning. You had an appointment. Well, that's life. Thanks, April. Hi, Dorothy. So I've been thinking about, because I'm eager to get started on it, working in this flow book to make a complete swatch book out of it, because I really do like the book. And I started writing down all the different products that I could include in there, right? And you guys, I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed at how many different products I have. how many of them I don't use all that often. You know, I buy it and I'm eager to have it, and then I get it and I don't use it like I should. So at least I'm going to swatch it, I guess. Um, but what I did, I went on Amazon, always a dangerous thing. And I was looking at swatch because I didn't want to have to draw up every page, you know, thinking about, okay, how am I going to do it? Am I going to swatch on this side and leave this side? How am I going to do it? I wasn't sure. And I'm still not. That's why I'm going to ask for you guys' help. Because I went on Amazon and I looked up swatch stamps. And they have a bunch of them. Like if you want some rubber stamps to use for your swatching, they've got lots of selection. Like these Chinese people know exactly what us Americans are willing to spend money on, I promise you. I ended up ordering this one, mostly because I like this curved corner, kind of different, you know, because mine are always, hey, Judio, mine are always the squares that I measure out and draw myself, but I knew I'm not going to want to do all that. So I ended up buying this one. And then I drew out a couple of the pages. And this one I used for watercolor. And this is 24 pound. And so I just figured out how many, you know, if I stamped them out like this, how many I could get. And I could get 64 swatches per page if I laid it out like this. And this 24 pound paper obviously is not going to take the water well. I think you should swatch on one side and do some art on the other using the swatch products. That's a good idea, Terry. And this stamp was the reason I ended up buying this, because I like the little space where you could write in, you know, either a product number or whatever. Hi, Lisa. And you can get 64 per page, which is not horrible. Not horrible at all. And one thing I decided, and I did call Dee Dee and ask her if it was okay, and she said it was okay. You know how Dee Dee took apart her December daily, you know, cut it all apart? I think I'm going to do that with this. But rather than, well, I could do a combination, I guess. I ended up liking the little square swatches better. So I'm going to cut the book apart. I'm pretty certain I'm going to do that. And this would be like front and back. And I think I'm going to cut this book apart because it's made really good, like a real book should be. Well, I could cut this cover off really easily just by cutting the end pages, and then cut the book apart and hardly lose any space. And then I could add more in, because the watercolors were going to be a problem on crapola paper. They just were going to be, and I knew that. But I want to include my watercolors in here. But I want to include my pens and my alcohol marker, you know, like I want to include, this isn't a complete list, but I want to include all the products, which now you know why I'm embarrassed. That's not even all of them, you guys. Oh my God, that includes no watercolors. Ugh. Anyway, so I think I am going to go ahead and cut this book apart. Living Skies, that's Jane, right? Hi, Jane. And do the ring binder on it. And then I can add to, and I knew swatching in here would be annoying because it can kind of lay flat, but not real flat. And I thought, okay, what's the solution here? Plus, if I put it in a ring binder, this little pocket in the back, which I love very, very much, will be more accessible. So, and then I can just add and remove as I want. So I think that's what's going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen, but yeah, I think I'm, for most of the pages, probably going to use these small squares because you can fit, like, what did I figure out? I could get 120 swatches per page, which means I could get most of the products I have on one page without having to go multiple pages. So that's my thinking. I'm eager to do it. But yeah, I had to get permission. Yep. Dee Dee, they have so many different kinds. it was hard to decide. And these damn Chinese people, I swear to God, um, they make these so cheap, like this set was like, I think $5, so it's like, well, even if I don't, if I end up not liking it, what I have, that's the cost of a coffee. So who cares that, I'll use it, throw it away. Who cares, right? But then they get me looking at their cheap ass stamp sets. And what do? I go ahead and buy this so I can include it as fun little artwork in the book. Hey, bossy butt, you just get home. And then also some funny animals. So don't go on Amazon. Just don't go on Amazon. My $5 project ended up costing me like $25. Ugh. But anyway, that's my plans for the swatch book. If you have any more brilliant ideas, I like Carrie's idea of swatching the product, and I must have bugged the camera. And then doing some sort of project on the other page. So, hello, Jane, you're reading my mind. Those animals are just made for snarky comments, right? Well, and I needed and believe me, I have tons of stamps around here. I did not need any more. But I needed a birthday card for Robert's great-grandson. And those animals I just thought were too cute. He's just 9. So, yeah. So, had to do something so I could get a check written for him. And then the only other thing I've been doing, other than messing with swatches and figuring out what I'm going to do there and making stickers, is I am going to go ahead and do the December daily. But I didn't buy the book because I don't need another book laying around here yelling at me to do something. So I decided I'm going to do it in the Beast. So I can put that away. So let me start with day 1 was the weather. So that was the first day we had, there are about 49,000 silicone. I'm not surprised, Kat. Yeah, I'll probably end up owning every one of them before I'm done. I'm not even kidding. It's ridiculous. So anyway, that day, we had flurries, and that was last Monday when I streamed, and I did get all the stickers out in the mail. So if you won last week, they're on their way. And then the second day was circle, and I just did a watercolor of some ornaments. And this was on an invitation to a lunch with my financial guy, which I never go. I just always call him and tell me, why don't you just send me some lunch to my house? And my Bolt went down that day. I was on the phone with Bolt for about an hour. And then he was going to escalate me to the next level guy to try and help me figure it out, because one of the TVs was working, 2 of them weren't. So I was just waiting. And while I'm sitting on hold, the TVs start working. So what the hell is that about? But anyway, and then the third day was illustrate a recipe, and that is my mom's white mice recipe. And we always had them at Christmas, and that is, in fact, the recipe. I wrote it in there. And I don't make them every year, but I might make them this year just because I brought this up, and it was just like, oh, I used to make white mice cookies and send them to my sister. They're her favorites. So, and I figured I'm going to use these house mouse throughout, And then 4th day was make a list. So I did make a list of all the things I could think about that I need to get done before Christmas. So I need to get some Christmas cards because they got to go in the mail. I really got to do that. I got to do it. And this Thursday, I'll get nothing done because we're going to be in Joplin getting our eyes tested. So, but yeah, those are real lists that I will use. And then this one was art through music or something like that. So I did Jingle Bells, and that napkin was from Dee Dee, and I had to kind of push it back. So thanks, Ellen. Thanks, Terry. So that was Art Through Music. And this one, I think I didn't understand the instructions. I just wrote down abstract doodles. But I went ahead and did, I love this little stamp that I have that you can do individual lights. Hi, sister. Don't get your tinsel in a tangle. And then I did Zentangle in the back. So I think I didn't entirely understand the instructions, but that's okay. I ended up liking it anyway, and it was tons of fun to do. So, and then this one was color this page. So I just picked out one of my Christmas house mouse and stuck it in there. And so, yeah, now we're on today. And today is Draw Out Your Window. And thank you, Ellen. And I don't even like that prompt because I hate looking out the window. It's gray, it's ugly. The trees don't have leaves. And thank God they're almost all gone now. So I don't want to draw out my window. So I think what I'm going to do is rather than draw out my window, I think I'm going to draw what I would like to see out my imaginary window. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do any damn thing I want, is pretty much how that translates. And then the next one is red and green objects. I'm going to have to think about that. Collect words and practice writing, which that'll be good. I'll like that. And then Thursday, I may or may not get that one done because we'll be gone all day. And Friday, she didn't give a shit. So, yeah. So, yeah, because looking out I mean, I've drawn looking out my window. I don't even know. I can't even guess how many times I've drawn that prompt for different projects or whatever. And I've drawn the lake. And so I think I'm going to do what I want to see out my imaginary window. And what I want to see out my imaginary window is gold streets and piles of gold and trees that grow money and cars that drive themselves, only they don't drive themselves. They fly low to the ground. So if you crash, you don't die. And that's what I want. All foggy and white. Yeah. Thanks, Barbara. So anyway, yeah, imaginary world out there. Because this winter is going to be long if we don't get some sunny days. Amazon trucks coming and going, lined up at my door, right? That's what I want. That may be what I end up drawing, Dee Dee. It's just Amazon trucks trying to pull into my driveway. A traffic jam of Amazon trucks in my driveway. And I think that's all I have to tell you guys. But you guys, with Scabby Hunt coming up, please, if you think of prompts that you want on the list, please let me know, because I'm going to have to get that list finalized here in the next couple weeks. Next weekend is going to be worse with the cold. Well, thanks for the good news, Ellen. Really, I'm like this every winter, so it's not like this is new, you know? I mean, I whine and bitch every year. Now, when I lived in Colorado, woo, Boca shoe freak. I didn't mind it because they had sunny days there. I could handle 3 foot of snow if it's sunny. I'd still bitch, but I could handle that, right? So what I'm going to do today is something I saw on Amazon, excuse me, quite a while ago. But it's stuck in my head. Use a broken crayon. Okay, where'd I put the thing? Thanks, Barbara. You always have one for me. That's actually a good idea. 12. Got it. Thanks, Barbara. And probably what I'll end up doing for a lot of the Scabby prompts is put in a cup prompt. What, to draw a cup or just include a cup? I'm going to include a cup image So then you can draw it, you can cut it out, you can stamp it, whatever you want. How about that? And so I don't have anything to show you about what I'm going to do today, but I think I'm going to draw some ornaments. Do you have candy on every page? No, I mean, the candy prompt is just going to be an idea for a theme. And if you want to do it, great. If you don't do it. You need a room of requirement, like in Harry Potter. You open a door and anything you need is there. Wouldn't that be neat? Judy. So I can't show you what I think I'm going to do today. So however it turns out, it's going to turn out good because you don't have anything to compare it to. How about that? So I got out my circle template, and I'm going to use pencil so there are no edges. And focus, you freak, I'll have to stay here. So yeah, we'll do one close up. And I probably should have taped this paper down, but I didn't. We'll do two big ones. What I'm going to do, I'm going to be working wet on wet. So having anything overlap is kind of a pain because I don't have time to let it dry. But that's okay. We're going to have to overlap some of them. And I think we'll do an uneven number. So it's either 3 or 5. But I got a big piece of paper, so we're going to do 5. And this won't take very long. And when I'm done streaming. So just kind of offset them. Yeah, that'll be good. But if you do much watercolor, you've heard the term wet on wet. And one of the cool things about wet on wet is when you get the paper wet, first of all, and then you add paint to it, and the water grabs the paint and moves it. And what was so cool about this painting that I saw was, one, I like the colors. I'll pick up a little bit of that graphite. It grabs the paint and just starts moving it. And they used blue and white, and it was so pretty. I'm going to add something else to mine just to make them more interesting, but hopefully I won't be sorry. And at the end of the day, it's just paper. Hey, View. So you guys won't really be able to see the edges. Hopefully I will be able to. They're still there, so I can see them. But the camera hates that white. Focus, you freak. There you go. So you can kind of see them there. They're still there. I can see them well enough to paint them. All right. I might need a bigger paintbrush, but we'll see. And then just some clean water. I probably should have gotten, you know what, I'm gonna. I should have gotten 2 waters so that I always have a clean one since I'm doing wet on wet. Yeah, so let me just grab some more water. And it's very lonely out here after Thanksgiving. Anybody who had come for the holiday obviously has gone home. And now I won't see anybody until spring. Not many of them come for Christmas, so, which is good. The tiny amoebas in the water are playing. Kind of like, Judy, that's the absolute truth. You'll see when I start doing it. All right. I probably need to do the overlap ones first and then move around so that they can be drawing as I'm working on other ones, because I really hate making you guys listen to the heat gun. And if you end up doing something like this, take time to stay in your line, you know, keep a nice circle. And you want, the paper should not have puddles, just a nice sheen. And as long as you know that there's still a sheen, your paint should behave like you're expecting them to. So you'll have to go over probably have to go over it more than once. But just make sure you have ample water. You just don't want puddles. And you kind of, this is bee paper that I'm working on. Inexpensive. Won't work like Arches or one of the better papers. But if you're going to do wet on wet like this on a crap paper, you kind of have to work fast. So I should have probably already watered down my paints. And I'm going to use, I think, the Daniel Smith, which one did I decide? Prussian blue, which is, that's phthalo. That's Prussian. And is that right? 2, 3. Yeah, this is Prussian. So, yeah, I probably should have got the paint ready. And I could have used darker. This one would have been good too. But I was, oops, I got blue in the white. Damn it, I didn't want to do that. Because I'm going to use the white paint. I think white watercolor is absolutely a waste of time, but for this project, it better work like I think it's going to work. All right. And I'm not putting it, I'm going to go direct from the pan because I want a lot of pigment. And you can tell by my paper, oops, I've got a little bit of dry there, which I'll get another paintbrush and make sure it's wet enough. If you put it in an angle, you can see where your water is. I'm going to go ahead and just add some so I'm sure. I'm not adding much water. This first one will tell us how well it's going to work. Are we ready? I've got my paint loaded up, or my brush loaded up with paint, and a stray hair, which you must always have. All right, not as wet as I would have liked, but that's okay. I'll just add some more water. Kind of hard on stream. Okay, make sure my brush is good and clean. Should have had my paints ready. I probably should have gotten 2 paintbrushes. Now, I've got it loaded with the white. I'm going to add white, and the white and the blue should start interacting with each other. You can tell that right there is a little bit dry. There we go. All right, now we've got our paints ready, so the next one should work better. Hi, Alyssa. Anybody else who came in? Was Smidgy happy? I don't have Smidgy right now. Actually, I talked to my brother, and Smidgy is having some. Oh, and look, I've got blue here. That's all right. They'll go away. Yeah, Smidgy's having some little bit of health issues, so I was really bummed to hear that. But then I asked Dawn, how old is Smidge? I just can't remember, you know. I know she's been around for a while. I'm going to use a big brush for this. He said she's like 12. So Smidge is not a puppy. And I hate to hear anybody, any puppy, any person, anybody at all having health issues. But Dawn and Amber are cool parents. They'll take care of her. I'm certain of that. And hopefully that those blue marks that are in there, they'll go away. Kind of look at it from the side, see if you're needing more water. And if you're doing wet on wet like this, I would say if you're going to err on the side of too much water rather than not enough. Right, got it? I've almost got that blue watered down too much, but that's okay. When I said I wish I had two brushes, I do have two brushes, so I'm going to use the bigger brush for the white so I can get it on there quicker and hopefully not contaminate it. See, I goofed up there. It's all right. I said it was an experiment, so ugh. Here, let me clean up my mess. I'm going to go ahead and pick up some of this because I do want the bottom half more white. I like the blue too, Devin. I love me some blue. All right, let's go back in and add some white to this. I originally thought I was going to use some like indigo or something like that, but I'm glad I went with the Prussian. Okay, there. And now I went and got the other, hi Laverne, I went and got the clean water so that I'd always have clean water. And then I went and contaminated it right away. That's what a rocket scientist I am. But it's not going to be that bad since I'm only using the 2 colors. And then I'm going to do this one. Then I'm going to hit it with a heat gun. It's fun to play with your stuff like this. I had no idea going in what to expect, how it was going to turn out. And I saw it briefly, and it's been a long time ago, but it stuck with me. And I thought, I got to try that. And I think it probably would have been better if I'd have taped down my paper, but whatever. I am so behind on anything Christmas, you guys. I haven't brought up my Christmas card box. I have done nothing. So this week I'm really going to get busy on that. And I need to get the cookies baked so they can sit for a week or 2, because they're always better if they've, sat around for a couple weeks. So yeah, I got to get busy. I really do. But to be honest, my heart's just not in it. I'm just not dying to bake all day, Okay, I want the blue brush. But I'll do it. I'll find a good podcast or something to keep myself busy and happy, and then go ahead. I had thought, well, maybe I just won't bake them this year. Honestly, I cannot disappoint my brother. I've got to bake the cookies. So yeah. Hi, Joe Lou. And see, I can't tilt the bottom part of the page without tilting the top part. So we're not going to tilt it that much. And I never use white. Watercolor unless I'm going to just lighten a color that I'm using otherwise. But I like how when they start mingling, they start looking way cool. All right, I got to take this sweater off because I'm going to cook if I don't. Pick up some of this. That's a lot of paint in there. You see how when I'm going back over with the blue, it's not moving quite as much. I like that one, how the blue has gone around the whole thing. I'm going to leave it just like that, actually. All right, let me hit this. Let me clean up that one. Well, no, because I'm going to cover that probably. At least partially. So let me just clean it up a little bit. Pick up some excess so we don't have the heat gun going for like 4 hours. And I wasn't sure Thanks, Bossy. I wasn't sure if I should use, I originally thought I was going to use like some correction fluid that I had for the white. And I don't know what I did with it. I might have thrown it away. Who knows? But anyway, I couldn't find it. And then I got thinking, I could have used gouache because I have tubes of gouache. So I think that would have worked too. And I might try that on a separate set of paper. Let me hit it with a heat gun real quick. And I don't necessarily care if this one stays a little wetter because nothing's touching it. So I don't have to worry about the paints smushing together there. I am going to take some of that white off of up here, though. I do want it darker. And I probably should just wait. I went in the wrong paint. When you're watercoloring, paper towel is your best friend. Yeah, I think I did go in the total wrong paint next door. Adios, paint next door. All right, now I'll use the least of the contaminated waters. And I'm going to work like this because I will invariably put my hand in there. And it's still not completely dry, but it's dry enough that it's not going to grab the paint. So that's my goal in drying it a little bit. And then I'll have to dry it completely if I'm going to work on top, which I thought I would. And I wish I had something else fun to tell you guys. But yeah, I have not left this house. I went into town last Friday. And otherwise, I haven't gone anywhere, haven't done anything, haven't seen anybody. Yeah, pretty much hanging out here, just doing whatever I do. I did make us the best dinner last night, though, you guys. I really did. I love ribs. And I like to buy pre-made ribs because, I don't know, they're just easier than, but yesterday I bought some baby back ribs and cooked them myself. They were freaking delicious. So I guess from now on, I'm going to have to make mine from scratch because they were so good. What the heck? No, I'm not in the wrong paint. I don't know why it looks like it's behaving so differently. I think I didn't get the edges real wet. Let me fix that right now before I get too far. See, that was a little more puddly than I would have liked, but that's all right. I am going to try this with some gouache, though. And yeah, cooking, eating, sitting here messing in the beast, that's pretty much what my life has been. And if you're a Survivor fan, Survivor has been so good this season, I think. Why is that blue behaving weirdly? Maybe I'm getting to the bottom of the pan or something. I don't know. Devin, you little cheater. What the hell? Yeah, I'm gonna, after these dry, Devin already gave it away. I don't like the way this one's turned out, but it may end up being my favorite. That's what I was gonna do. I'm gonna put a row of trees across and maybe a little deer out here. Look, Devin, you little stinker, you. I was gonna be surprising you guys. I'll just pretend that's what you told me to do. But that was my idea, was that I would put a row of trees across there. But the deer, I'm going to be working so small on these little globes, I thought, well, I could do the trees too. Maybe I'll do it that way. The watercolor trees are so much easier, though. But for the deer, I might use the Languo. I don't know how you pronounce it. Dee Dee showed more Languo products this morning. I'm not buying them. I'm not buying them. I'm not. It's okay, Devin. I'm not buying them. That's that. I'm just not. All right. Hold it at an angle so you can see where the water is and how much you've got. I think the problem with my blue is I just had too much water in that pan. So I'll try and stay close to the corners or something. And I don't know what I'm going to do with the background, if I'm going to do anything. Because this was really just kind of a idea of, I wonder if I want to do that. Because I never really know. I've been having a lot of fun working in the Beast, doing the December daily, but this one today, draw out your window. Yeah, I don't think so. Hi, K-Berg. All right. That is more what I was expecting, this one. But that's okay. It's all good. It's all good. They're still pretty cool looking. All right. This one, boring. We're going to rework it. Hopefully we won't be sorry. And we really don't care because it's still just paper and paint. And you can throw it away when you're done. The blue on this one looks like it's actually just granulating. So don't be afraid to go in and rework. I'm not. I'll rework anything. Because every time you do something like this, you learn. And it's not going to behave the same way every time. So just do whatever. All right, let me pick up some of the excess up here, hit it with a heat gun, and we'll be moving on. I didn't want to do that necessarily. And if I wanted to find that edge a little bit better where it just went over, I can also always go back and outline them in ink. All right, let's pick up some of this excess water. If you just stick a little bit of the tissue in, you can pick up some of the water without too much disruption in the paint. And if I was here by myself, I would get up and walk away at this point and just let it air dry. But because of you guys, I can't do that. Hi, Carol. All right, heat gun. Almost done. And I would not, like, there's 2 little wet spots left you can see on there. Don't go in with a paper towel and try and pick those up at this point, because you will pick up the paint. I'm just going to try and not stick my hand in it. But yeah, that a lot of times doesn't work out so well. So I think I will use, let's look here. I want dark green. And this top half of this swatch card is Daniel Smith. Bottom half is M. Graham. In my opinion, they're both amazing, great paints. So intermixing them, fine with me. I try not to mix like the M. Graham with the Prismas. Not the Primas, not the Prismas, the Primas. But of the greens that I have, that is definitely a granulating paint. I don't think I want that. Would be the Cascade Green. I think I'm going to go with Hookers. Nothing like a good hooker green. Yeah. If I use full strength Hookers, I think that'll be good. So And the swatch sheet corresponds to their placement in the palette, because I made the palette out of just balsa wood that you can get at Hobby Lobby, and just measured it all out so I could have all of them in one palette. But I have to say, these wooden palettes that I made are honestly some of my favorite things that I've ever done. They're pretty sturdy. You can fit a lot of product in little space. So yeah, almost no downside to the wooden palettes. And I still have some kind of uncontaminated water, so let's water up some Hooker's Green. Wonder if I should, no, I'll paint directly from the pan. And that I'll have to just clean up, not worried about it. That still is not dry, and it's right where my hand needs to go. Yep, picked up a little bit of it. All right, here, we're going to go ahead and just see. I told you don't do that, but I did it. All right, here we go. We're going to put, ooh, I got that a little thick. You want thick, but not paste. You have to think about them moving around the ball. And I probably should have started curving this earlier, but oh well. You don't want a straight edge, so make your edge rough. It's just an indication of trees, not individual trees. I might come back and do an individual tree, and if I want, I could put a lake right there. You know, at this point, it's just whatever your imagination. Oh, thank you, Ellen. K-Berg, you're brilliant. Get out a ruler and put it in there. Why didn't I think of that? It's dry now. I'm sure my sweatshirt soaked up. Whatever. I don't have any clothes that aren't painty clothes, you guys. They're all painty clothes. So that worked out pretty good because I got to fix up that little burger there where I didn't want it. From Denise Love, can't take credit. Well, thank you, Kathy Berg, for sharing Denise Love's awesome ideas. Oops, I started a little low on that one. That's all right. Got this paint a little watery, more watery than I might have liked, but oh well. Where are these hairs coming from? I don't have a cat anymore. When I had the cats, I had stray cat hairs all the time. But I don't have cats anymore. But sometimes I think I want one, or want some kind of pet. I think I want one of those little cows. Dee Dee, did Denise tell you that I sent her one of the memes of the little baby cows dressed up and said, "Where can we get these? I want them so bad so we can go to thrift stores and buy clothes for them." The only place you really have to be careful is there at the edges. But even if you goof that up, you can go back and fix it. So far, I haven't been able. She didn't say. Yeah, I sent her one. It was just like, where can we find these? We need them so we can dress them up from thrift store clothing. I don't usually send Denise memes because I know she's so busy and she probably thinks, why is she doing this? I have other stuff to do. Because she's a busy girl. I only send memes to you losers that I think have nothing better to do with your day. Yeah, I know she isn't. Hi, so much. You know, it might be good too. I don't know how crazy I want to get here. Because they're all similar, but not identical, right? And if you're doing this, you can also leave some white space to indicate a break in the forest or whatever. Like that. I probably will go back and add some white space at the bottom. Make them a little bit different, each one. What do I do? Paint that one, leave it wet, and then go up there, making sure that I wreck something, because I'm brilliant that way. Oh, this could be a picture out my window. Oh, you guys, I could cut this out and put it in the beast, a view outside my window. Maybe I'll end up doing that because I'm such a lazy wench. Now that I've done it, I've got to do it on all of them. And if I did a view outside my back window, I'd be a lot happier if that butthole that lives behind me would clean up his lakefront. All right. Clean up my little mess here real quick. Get paint everywhere. So far, I'm liking them okay. But if you were a really good painter, you probably could go back in with a paintbrush and draw in a little deer. I think I'm going to, thank you, Kat. I think I'm going to use the Langwell pens and draw them in. Because you just have to have a hint of a deer. You know? You don't need his eyeballs or his tail. Because of the size of the trees, like a deer from this distance would be like a pinpoint. You wouldn't be able to see that he even has 4 legs. So now we'll use the pens. What color pen do we want? Let's look at our swatch card. I want him pretty dark, but okay, maybe 120. I love these pens so much, you guys. Hi, Rachel. I do. I love these pens so much. I can't even begin to describe to you. In fact, those house mouse that were in my Beast for December Daily, I did all them watercoloring the Langwell pens. But the 120, I bet it's going to be, nope. It's going to look almost like, look at second one I picked. Yeah, baby. But yeah, I love these stupid pens so much. Get this bad boy inked up. All right. So let's we're going to put 2 on this one. So you don't have any features at all, just an indication that you kind of can see that that's probably some wildlife or something. And you guys, I think I've told you that we have a lot of red fox here in the neighborhood. And that red fox has been hanging out. Thank you, Kat. Has been hanging out here under my carport lately, and I hope he's okay. It kind of worries me when I see him too much. Would like to give an indication of a rack or something. But yeah, he's kind of got me worried lately. He's been hanging around here way too much. I'm seeing him too much. So I don't know, and I kind of feel like, well, do I want to put some food or something out for him? Because it's almost like he's not hunting or something. I don't know. But I don't normally see them that much, you know? So I don't know. It's kind of bugging me. I told myself yesterday, if I see him again tomorrow, I'm going to go get him something to eat, because it indicates to me that he's not hunting. Am I crazy for thinking that way? Do you know? I don't know, Kathy. I always assume that it's a male, but it could very easily be a female. I'll know in the spring if I see babies, but I don't understand why he, she, it is hanging around as much as it is. That it's just not, it's not normal. And I know it probably is warmer up near the house, so that may be why he's hanging around, is that he's just a little bit, I don't know. I made a warm, okay, Jolu. Hi, Jolu. You indoor cat since outside that comes around. I feed him for like, he's in feral. Well, before we did have, I don't think rabies, Dee Dee, because if I go out the door, he's going to run like hell. It's not like he's wanting to interact with people. I think it's more of a safety thing or a warmth thing. I don't know. It just kind of is bugging me. I'm liking these, you guys. Now, the thing is, I have to decide. Yeah, I've got 2 with 2 on it. This one looks like it's been decapitated. Yeah, I think I'll leave 3. Yeah, let's go ahead and put another one down here. Yeah, to me it seems more like more of a safety or heat or something. And I don't want to start feeding him or anything like that. I mean, I don't want to necessarily encourage him to come closer. So I don't know. I'm just probably, thanks, Devin. See, that's what I think too, Jolu, hungry. And I did feed one once before, and he ate the tuna that I put out for him. But he had been fed by humans before. This one I don't think has had much contact with people. I mean, he knows people, obviously, because he runs from them, but yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of uncertain about what to do. Okay, I'm thinking right now about putting little ornament catchers on. And hopefully I hope I'm figuring out the center somewhat. Hopefully the Panda Fly gold pens will let me do this, and I'll be able to fix this screw up too. Got to get inventive to fix your screw ups, you know? And I haven't decided if I want to, what I want to do with the background. So any ideas for the backgrounds that you guys can think of, I'll see what I can come up with too. Could be a young one and just not going. Well, Terry, that could be too. It could be last year's baby. But he definitely has been hanging out in my carport. So kind of makes me a little nervous. Oh, those Panda Fly pens, you guys. I've been using the heck out of these things. Well, all that art I did in the Beast, I used the Langwell pens and these, anything gold, like the bell. Let me show you the bell. The bell and the lettering on this was all the gold and then the silver. And they play really nicely with the Language pens. Well, any other pen I've used these with. No spreading, no, yeah, they're just, you use that for the top. Yeah, the gold, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. You could do silver or gold. I'm going to use the gold because I'm just a little partial. That's a good idea, Terry. Do a window frame. Maybe that's what I'll do. And then I could use a ruler. Lucky day. But yeah, for inexpensive pens, I have to say these Pandafly pens, Tina sent me them for my birthday, and I'm not sure I've thanked her adequately enough. They are really, really good. I like them. I like pens that work like they're supposed to. And they cover up. They're pretty opaque, so that's another good thing. Now you'll see. I might have to let it dry and go over it again. But they don't move the watercolor, and they'll cover it up. So there's really no downside to them that I've found. And I love a product that works like it's supposed to. Bokeh? I've done bokeh before. Oh, bokeh in the background. Rachel, that's not a horrible idea. Do a window frame with bokeh in the background? For those of you who maybe aren't familiar with the term bokeh, I'm trying to think where I could find something that I've done before, but it's using the same color and going from dark to light, lighter to light. Oh my God, it's hard to describe. Let me see if I can find it. All right, well, that's sitting there. A little house outside the windows. We could probably jam one of those in there. Let me see. That's Pantone cards. I really need to organize some of my art, you guys. I really do. Well, since I've got this here, I'll just flip through it looking for what I'm looking for. I'm going to move this for a minute. Probably done with that for a little while. Anyway. This is just a notebook where I cram artwork that I don't really know what to do with. That's not exactly bokeh, but that's kind of the idea. Yeah, that was fun. I don't look at this stuff, so I forget. Oh, there it is. This would be like a bokeh background. This is a better one. Yeah, you can use pretty much anything. Abstract art, designs for background, art salute beginner style. This was one of my early watercolors, and I was really, really, really happy with the way this turned out. That's just a blow up of it. But yeah, I didn't have much skills. Not that I have a bunch of skills now, but I think everything about him turned out so good. The pine cones, his cheeks, just Santa came out really good, and I love the lettering. So sometimes you can create amazing stuff even as a beginner. can't believe I just dumbed into that bokeh right there. These were fun too. I did about 5 of these paintings. A fun thing to do, you guys, and I did this, I marked one over the weekend that I want to do, is painting glass and marbles. And I marked something the other day thinking, man, I need to do that again. All right. Well, I can't believe I dumbed into that bokeh so you guys could see what we're talking about. And I think there's multiple ways I could accomplish the bokeh. I don't have a huge amount of time left. Just trying to think. I like the window frame though. All right, let me think. What do I do with my drink? I need to drink while I think. Thanks, guys. Oblivious mind. I have art stashed everywhere. That's why I don't know where everything is. Sometimes I leave it in a pad of watercolor paper. Sometimes I put it in a journal. Sometimes it lays around here for a month before I figure out where to put it. All right, let's figure out the center of the paper first. Not that anything is centered at this point, but we get to use a ruler, so what do we care? All right, so it's 9.5. 4.5 is the center. If we want a window frame, 1/2 inch. Yeah, we'll do 1/2 inch panes. Okay, and if I do some windows, I want to think that it would be like nighttime out. Don't worry, be happy. Thank you, Barbara. Barbara never forgets to sing Don't Worry, Be Happy when she sees my ruler. That's been a rule for several years. So this is kind of fun because I had zero idea of what I wanted to do. And now it's all just kind of coming together. And it'll come out okay or it won't. And it won't matter either way because we're just hanging out having fun yakking. So what color would you do the background, Rachel? Oh, focus, you freak. It does really work with the camera focusing. I made a bunch of these and sent them to a bunch of streamers. I don't know if anybody else still used theirs. And on the back, it's got a BRB. BRB. And then Bob. I don't remember where I got Bob. He's my buddy. Don't you love when things just work out okay? I do, Devin. I think that's part of the reason I like watercolor so much. Because you can't anticipate and you can't really control. It's just really a matter of just go with it because you literally have no control, which for me is new and different because I tend to be a little bit of a control freak, and it's probably been really good for me to have to realize that this is one thing that you just can't control it. So get over it. And if it works out, great. And if it doesn't, who cares? You had fun. Okay, I'm going to do the panels in the middle. Well, let me see. Do I have a... Let's see. I've got a little HEC card here. Because I love blue and brown together, I'm going to do the window panes, I think, in this quinacridone rust. Let me show you the... Here's the swatch of it. It's a reddish brown. houses with lights on. Thanks, Belinda. But yeah, I love that quid rust. We're going to go with that. Start at the top so I won't get my hands in it. Well, there's no guarantee about that. Oh, I probably should have done wet on wet, but oh well. My chair is creaking. And I don't care if it's uneven like that. I hope it does do a certain amount of that. Hi, Sharon. Sharon, you remember those felted animals you made for me? I keep them in the kids' room. And when the kids came for the weekend after Thanksgiving, I didn't think to shut the door to that bedroom. I should have, because it's kind of a mess in there with all my art stuff laying everywhere, but I didn't think to shut the door. And Jackie brought her dog with her, so we had a grandpuppy here. And we were sitting out in the living room yakking, and TV was on in the background and stuff. And here comes Oakley, and she's got one of your felted animals in her mouth. She really liked, or he, Oakley is a boy, he really liked your felted animals. We finally had to just shut him out of there because he would have brought us one every minute. He was loving the animals. And he had plenty of his own toys. It wasn't like he didn't have his own toys here. So you got a new fan, Sharon. Oakley from the Outer Banks was loving your little animals. He didn't hurt them, but I leave him in there on the kid's bed. Now every time he comes, I'm going to have to be mindful to keep that door shut because he will remember that there are toys in there for him. I think the bokeh in the background, I really like that. Trying to think what color I would like. Like I like this brown next to the blue. Hi, Christina. Anybody else I might have missed coming in? Thanks for hanging out with us this afternoon. All right, now we don't have to be so fussy. I do want to keep it straight though, since I went to the trouble to draw lines with a ruler. And I could go in and add some little darker here and there and make it look more textury. Thanks, Christina. All right, I'm going to start getting hard water spots if I keep messing around. Not that I don't love those, but Oops. No, I think that's the right color. Oh, you know what? I forgot to show you guys. Let me finish this pane here, and I'll show you something cool. Daniel Smith or M. Graham paints are so nice to work with, you guys. They re-wet so beautifully. Just there's no downside to them. All right, there we got a window pane. I really want to do like a dark blue background with white, you know, where I'm picking up the blue paint to make it look like snow in the background. Thanks, Carol. Thanks, Sharon. I'm just not sure. Of course, what I could do, I'm kind of wanting to do, you guys tell me what you think. I wish I had some way to test. I could choose a different shade of blue, but I love the Prussian. And look like a snowy sky outside the window, you know? I could see, that was my answer, Joe Lou, is that I could, after I paint the background blue, that I could go around the bulbs with a white pen. Or silver around the balls. Yep, that would work. Silver would work. What do you guys think? And then, now a bokeh background takes Payne's Gray. Oh, Payne's Gray. Payne's Gray is one of my favorites. I think you're right, Rachel. Man, Rachel, you came in and have made a huge difference. I'm so almost out of Payne's Gray, though. Look at this. I've got to order some. I told myself the other day I'm going to have to order some paints. Look, that's how much Payne's Gray I have, and my tube is empty. But I think I've got enough there to do it. I need to do an order. I need to do a Blix order and get some. Maybe that'll be my Christmas present. I'll buy myself Payne's Gray. Did I order paint? Wait, you guys, something in my brain told me I may have ordered Payne's Gray. Let me go look one place. I know, Christina, but something tells me I may have done that last order. Let me look real quick. Won't take a minute. All right, fellow freaks. I just saved myself some money. Let me see if this is an old tube. There is a sale at Blix. Why won't you slide out? Come on, come on. In the Cityscape, M-Gram Cityscape, they sell these little sets with 5 colors in them. But I can't get the cover off it, so what the hell good are these little sets doing me? Sepia, Payne's Gray. I have some. Woohoo! All right. I'll try and use what's in the pan right now, but I will load that pan up today. All right. Remember when lilac or lavender was being discontinued? I did an order at Dick's Blick about that time, but I don't think I ordered any of the purple. All right, I'm thinking about, all right. Now this, I probably am going to need a palette for. Because there's multiple ways you can do that bokeh background. I could do it with picking up the color, but if I want them perfectly round, which I don't really care if I do or not, or you can start with a real light shade of the color. All right, here. We're going to do a little experiment here because we can. I'll do it on the back of this. This isn't watercolor paper, but it's fine. Okay. Do a real light shade of the Payne's Gray. I love Payne's Gray so much. Okay. And then I'll hit it with a heat gun real quick. I'll use a smaller stencil because I'm not going to do any that big. Hang on. That was fast. And then this is why it takes so much time, you guys. You'll see in just a second. I can draw a couple of circles of the lightest shade. And I'm going to use this Payne's Gray, so I'm not wasting paint. It's a little time consuming, especially if you're going to do perfect circles. This next one, I won't do the perfect circles. But then you paint over your whole background again. And if you've never done this, try it because it is really fun. But you just keep mixing your color a little bit darker And I'm just going to press it with a paper towel next, because getting the perfect circles is kind of a pain. And you got to do it while it's still wet. And I'm not doing these perfect because, one, I'm hurrying, and this isn't anything I'm going to use and keep anyway. Just showing you this because if I start it, I won't get it done if I do it this way. Or another thing you can do is at this point, yeah, most artists don't use the black or the white that come with, oh, but you would pick up the color like that. And ideally what I would do, well, let me paint over that. Dry that. Yeah, Payne's Gray is good for everything. If you need a shade of any color, whatever. You know, to shade any color, you can find some Payne's Gray and mix it. Now I'm going to get a little bit darker just to show you guys. Now I'm going to go over what I thought was the darker color with a darker still, but this time I'm going to use the pickup method rather than painting around. You can do it either way, but painting around all those circles is kind of a pain in das Butt. But just mix it a little darker each time. You know, the first shade should almost be just like almost white. And then you'll see. Just a minute. And I actually have a sea sponge that would work great for this. See, I like the pickup method too, Bossy, because I'm lazy as hell too. But you just pick up each layer. And I probably have a piece of foam or something that I could cut in a circle, but that's pretty much what the technique is. And you can kind of see, but I should have started probably a little bit lighter. Let me see what I've got that I could pick up with. Because if I want it to look like snow out the window, it wouldn't be completely round. So let me see. I bought a bunch of different sea sponges, and I've got to look for those little foam things that I had. All right. I have a piece of a sea sponge. Let's try and cut it in kind of a circle. The pickup method is definitely faster for sure. But again, if I want snowflakes, they're going to be all different sizes and shapes, so I shouldn't worry about it. I should just go with whatever happens. All right. You can buy more sea sponges, so if you cut yours up, who cares? I didn't darken anything, so we're just going to see how the sea sponge will work. Oh, you know what would work well, but they're kind of big, is the finger daubers. Those would be perfect. All right. Did you get the acrylic stick things when you bought the nail brushes? If so, might be able to use them. Well, I did, Judy, but those are more, I don't know. They're probably better for putting stuff down. Now, if I just painted out the windows black, and maybe that's what I should do, do the panes gray, and rather than doing the bokeh, take some white acrylic or something, and just drop in snowflakes, because then I could get Q-tips would work too. Alyssa, brilliant girl, you. I have some of those. All right, let's do it. Because we don't have that much time. I'll probably go a little longer than I might otherwise. Let me go get, I'm going to try the Q-tips because that's brilliant. I have, well, I'd rather have the fatter end ones, so let's try that. And if we don't like this, in the end, we can paint it all solid and go in with white acrylic, you know? I don't know why I don't think of Q-tips more, because that actually is probably a great idea. Let's try it. We have all the cool stuff. White acrylic snowflakes sound easier, and I'll see. I think so too, Devin. This sounds like a big old pain in the butt, but here I am. Alyssa, if I want uniform little circles, Q-tips are the magic. There you go. Come to a stream with a dumbass. Alyssa comes in chat, and you also got a good idea. I think so too, Devin. You know what would well, the white acrylic, if I did that, I can keep them more uniform. I think I'm going to do that. We're going for the fast and easy method. All right, let me see how dark this is. Do I want to go that dark? Yeah, why not? Why not? And I should have more than enough paint. I'm going to make sure I mix it. Yeah, so we'll do bokeh another time. But it is a good option. But I think I'm going to go back in with white acrylic. And then I can use those tools that Judio, I think it was Judio, was talking about. And I'll add the strings to the bulbs at the very end. I'll do this fussy stuff first. That leaves the fussy stuff in these holes. Of course, it'd probably be easier just to redraw them. Have you guys been watching any Christmas specials on TV? I have not watched a single one. It's hard to keep Robert's interest in stuff like that, so I have to watch stuff. We watched a show last night called Aviation Mishaps and Disasters. Holy crap. I don't know how they catch some of that stuff on camera. But it's insane. And Robert well, he still has his pilot's license, but of course we don't fly anymore. Yeah, he loved it because he's a pilot. So, and after I get out in the big areas, I'll use the larger brush. But if you watch the aviation mishaps, makes you think twice about getting on a plane. Not that I had any intentions of getting on a plane, but man, there's some crazy stuff going on out there. And this black background, or this Payne's gray background, is sure covering up a lot of misdeeds. See, I'm getting rid of that. It would have been okay to do wet on wet with this Payne's gray as well, you guys. But I think I can move fast enough that I won't have to worry about it. And now, too late to change our minds, boys and girls. This is what it is. I'm going to have to mix more paint. But since I have more in a tube, I don't mind. If you're going to do a big background like this, just keep moving and always keep wherever you're painting wet. And then you won't have to worry about hard marks. Now, if I go back in there, I would make some hard marks. But because I'm going to put snowflakes on top, and that's just white dots, I probably could disguise some of those too. So don't worry about the mess you're creating. Just keep a wet edge and you'll be fine. Mostly fine. How about that? Could you use the Q-tips through the stencil? Yeah, I think you could, Dorothy. You'd probably just have to work quickly, you know, because especially on the less expensive papers, they tend to suck up the water so quick. You know what? I'm going to draw that back in. I'm not going to fussy that. Yeah, just you'd have to move quick because the paper with cellulose in it sucks up the water so quick that you'll end up with marks and stuff. So if you want it just nice and solid, just work quickly. That's all. You've been watching the classics? Yeah, I can't remember who I was listening to the other day, and they said they'd watched some of the old classics, and I thought I hadn't even looked to see if they were on, to be honest, because it's really not conducive to keeping Robert happy. Because anything with a story now is difficult for him. He'll lose track before we get it done. So, all right, let's start down at the bottom and work up again. I hope I mix somewhat the same color. It looks to me to be a little bit lighter, so I'll add some more. I'm so glad I found that I have more Payne's gray. Yeah, this looks better. If you're going to do a project like this, try and mix enough paint so that you don't have to go back in and mix more later. Not that anybody's going to grade it that carefully, but just some few tips, little tips for you guys. Trying to be a little careful and keeping that curve as good as I can. Oh, look at what I just did. Again, I'm just going to paint that out and put it back in later. Just set it down there, honey. Robert went out and got our mail, which reminds me, I've got to show you guys something here in a minute. Let me get this one done.
Are you talking to me?
No, I'm talking to the ladies on stream. Just set the mail down. I'll get it when I'm done here.
Okay, right here it is.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Is it cold as hell out?
Say again?
Is it cold?
Yes, it's cold.
I knew it was.
And these two are mine.
Okay, yeah, just leave it there. Thank you.
Uh-huh. You're welcome. Thank you.
All right. Did not do that curve very well. Get some more Payne's Gray. Sorry, I'm not reading chat. I'm going to take a break here right now to show you guys. I'm glad Robert brought the mail in because that reminded me. And I have it sitting right here to show you guys. Look at, I got this in the mail. And it's a Christmas card from Starla Arts. Thanks, Starla. Very, very pretty. And it's watercolor, obviously watercolor. You did a great job. I like the background. So thank you, Starla. That's what I wanted to show you guys. I keep the Fibs art, people who went to the trouble to make something. I keep it separate from the regular Christmas cards. All right, that probably is good enough. This got dark all of a sudden. Yeah, it is really nice, huh? So, yep, it's fun to get stuff like that. I like it. And, I need to, well, I'll be on for a little while longer. I was going to say, I got to leave time for a giveaway. And if the background is uneven, like see this one up here, it's a little uneven. I think by the time I add the snowflakes and stuff, it won't be that bothersome, I hope. The Payne's Gray is really nice, though. I think it looks black on screen, but in real life, you can definitely tell it's Payne's Gray. It was a great idea, though. I think it was Rachel who suggested it. Really, really good idea. Starla, oh, there's Starla. I was going to say, Starla may have had something else she had to do. She's a busy girl. But yeah, I appreciate it, Starla. I probably will not be making any cards this year. I can pretty much guarantee that I won't. Because by the end of the week, you guys, we're almost at middle of the month. I can't believe how quick time is going. It's killing me, man. I need to get on that list on my December dailies. And we're not having company come and stay. You're stitching a few cards? Yeah, that's cool, Dorothy. See, that's me too. I wait too late, and then I just feel like, oh, if I can't do a decent job at it, I'm not even going to mess with it. And it's not like I don't have the stuff to do it. It's really, I guess, lack of priorities. There's no excuse. Oops, I just dunked in the wrong color. Yeah, I have no excuse other than I obviously prioritize other stuff. But I have to say, too, I think Robert is taking up more of my time now than he used to. So, yeah, there's that. But I'm not going to blame him. I mean, if it was a priority, it would get done because other stuff gets done. So that's just me making bad excuses for myself. And I know some people who really do start their cards like in July. I think Arlene's been doing hers for a couple months. But I have a hard time thinking about Christmas before Halloween. I just feel like I'm rushing the calendar way too much. All right. If we had done the bokeh background, we'd be here next week still doing it. So I'm glad we scaled back because I'll be able to get this done. Dark painting. I don't very often do dark paintings like this, but I think I'm going to like it. Definitely makes the white on the bulbs stand out, doesn't it? Can't believe I don't have paint everywhere by now already. By doing this, I'm almost certain to get my hand and my arm in the paint before I'm done. Because that's how we roll around here. Terry, did you paint along today? Terry a lot of times will paint along with me. Quietly in the background, just painting along. I hope you did. All right, here we go. Thanks, Teresa. Thank you, Starla. So far, I'm liking it, and I think the acrylic snow in the background will be good. I'm hoping. Let me go grab some acrylic real quick. I will keep these Q-tips right here with my other tools, so I remember them. If I can find them. Yeah, there they are. Okay. Let me go get some white acrylic. I think I'm done with the watercolors because I'm out of paper. The nice thing about the acrylic is it's definitely opaque. I'm going to get out both sets of dot tools. Some work better than others, to be honest. These big ones, I'm a little disappointed in them, but the smallest, this size, is not bad. But these big ones, yeah, I don't think they work. And maybe I'm just not using them right. So, good, Ellen. Kind of. Okay, cool, Terry. Are you going to post it? Are you going to keep it to your own bad self? All right. That should be enough white acrylic for the entire night sky. Let's do the big dots first. But where's my little practice sheet? Here we go. Well, that's finished drying. We'll test out our dot tool. Okay, that one's not bad. Yeah, we'll use different size circles. Let's do the big ones first. Well, let me hit it with a heat gun, because if I got down here in the wet paint, you know what it's going to do. So it'll only be a second. I don't necessarily like this window, but we're going to go with it anyway. Flattening it out. All right, we're going with the big one first. We'll use the big one to disguise anything that we don't like. Paper jumped up on that one. Now I have to be super, super careful that I stay away from the wet paint. For me, danger, danger, danger. Because I'm such a klutz, I will stick my hand right in it. Yeah, you can disguise a lot of stuff. Let's do the next smaller one. This is where I'm going to get in trouble, you guys. Just saying. The problem with doing something like this is, at what point do you say, okay, enough is enough, you're done? Because I'll sit here and add dots the rest of the week. Because I don't want too many, you know. White acrylic, the makeup. Oops. That one got a little big. Of painting. It's like a concealer. You cover up everything you don't like. Getting too much junk here on the table. All right, I'm going to use the there it is. Is this the biggest of these? Yeah. All right, I'm going to work upside down. See, I smeared that one already. Well, I have to say, this is not at all what I envisioned going in, but I'm not necessarily unhappy with it. I think the balls against this dark background really pop off the page. So, yeah, collaborative effort, and I'm not at least unhappy with it. I might go back in with one more size of dot, but then I'm going to call it done, because I don't want to overwhelm it, which I may have already done. What was it? CB used to say, when I would play with Magicals, what did she say? Something about, okay, you're going overboard now. Enough is enough. Stop. Stop already. Where's CB when you need her? All right. Just some little tiny dots, and then we're going to call it done and done. Getting carried away, I think is what she'd say. Then we'll do the giveaway. I know the Payne's Gray looks kind of black on screen, but on the actual painting, it's not black. And you can tell that it's not black. But if you don't have Payne's Gray, black or dark gray would work just as well. So, but I'm kind of disappointed looking in the camera that you can't see the hint of blue that's on it. But that bee's cool. I'll set this aside and let it dry while we do the giveaway, and then I'll come back in and add those loops for the string. And I think I'll have the string that's holding the bulbs be in the same gold. That's probably plenty of snow. It looks like it's, you can see it in some spots. Yeah, like over here where it's lighter. Yeah, you can see it. And even the fact that it's discolored doesn't even bother me. Seems like there's a lot of things to see here. I'm almost tempted now. I don't want to go overboard, so you guys tell me. You know the Star of Bethlehem? Where's it? Okay. What would you think if in the sky on the bulbs I add, where's my white panda fly? Come on. Don't give up on me now because I've been bragging on you all day, so don't be stupid. Like a star like that. Did you see? Add the star. Okay. See, that's what I was thinking now. Okay, I can't add it now, so let's just help me remember that. Let's do the giveaway. And I'll do the same that I did last. And I'm going to do this up until Scabby Hunt. Maybe beyond Scabby Hunt, too. We'll do 4 people, 3 stickers. And I am adding some other junk in there. So everybody wants the star. So we'll add it. We'll let that dry. And so what I'm giving away is, for this, if you came in late, the scavenger hunt theme this year, and you don't have to necessarily do the theme. That's entirely up to you. But Denise and I agreed that vintage candy will be the theme this year. And so I took my 2018, I think it was, Inktober's, and made some photocopies, and I'm sending some of them out so that you guys kind of have a head start on the Scabby. So people who come to my stream get a little bit of an advantage. So I'll do, you only have to pick one number, but I'm going to pick 4 people and send 3 stickers to each one, and then some other junk, whatever I can shove in your envelope and keep the postage without just being ridiculous. So, and I choose the stickers. You don't get to choose your own stickers. So, because Dee Dee's the nice one, not me. So, Cat, Cheshire Cat, you ready for a giveaway? You ready to herd some bunnies? No, rabbits. Cats. Other junk too, yeah. So, because there's 35 people here, we'll go pick a number between 1 and 50, the closest person without going over. Okay? And I will pick 4 different numbers. You'll keep the same number, but I will pick 4 different numbers so that 4 people can win. Dee Dee is a nice one. I swear to God. Sometimes she's so nice, I want to call her on the phone and scream at her while she's streaming. If I didn't think it would piss her off, yeah, I would. I'd say, quit being so nice. What the hell is wrong with you? Yeah, 1 number only. Don't delete your number. First one closest without going over. After I type go, we'll win some vintage stickers. Yeah, have live chat at the top of your chat window. If we already won, can we still play? Yeah, sure. Up to you. I'm not keeping track of all that crap. Are you kidding me? No. Everybody who's here gets to play. Okay? So let me well, while you guys are putting in numbers, I'll do it. So I hope that's it. Same, pretty much basic rules at Dee Dee's, except that it's between 1 and 50 because there's fewer people here. Ready, set. All right, go. And I'll pull up random.org while you're doing that. So get your numbers in, and the mods will help me. But yeah, everybody's eligible, even if you won before. All right, and it's between 1 and 50. Last week I almost goofed up and did 100, but I've got it in there now, Dee Dee. Yeah, 1 through 50. If you went over 50, Devin, delete your number and put a new one in, because I know this is different than Dee Dee's. Or you just decided you wanted to mess with us. Don't mess with us. We're not messable today. Oops. Happens every time, Devin. Every time. All right. Hurry up. I'm getting tired of waiting. I don't like to wait around. You're such a good mod. You are, Devin. Besides that, you're cute and you're bossy. So, cute and bossy, that's it. Rules don't apply to you, girl. That's how I go through life. I'm cute and I'm intelligent. Rules don't apply to me. My dad trained me that way. You're so cute. All right, looks like everybody's slowed down. So I'll do stop and no numbers after the stop count. All right, we ready to go? 1 through 50. Ready, set, generate. Look at number 50. So everybody's eligible because it's closest without going over. I think that damn Devin, cheater Devin. Okay. Nope. Sharon Lombard had 45. I think she's going to be closest, but everybody stays in the drawing for the next number because there's 1 each time. Devin, you are so close. Yep, it's Sharon Lombard. People tell my granddaughter that she's pretty, looks at them and say, I know it. Yeah, I can believe that. My dad tells me all the time. All right, first round was Sharon Lombard with 45. Ready? Oh, come on. 7. Closest without going over. Oh, look at Starla Arts has 6. Unless somebody got spot on 7. I think it's Starla. Yay, Starla. Yeah, I know, Dee Dee, but it's first one without going over, and I'm picking 4 numbers. So that's why Devin didn't get it in there fast enough. And besides, she's a big fat cheater. Okay, ready? And if the generator picks the same number twice, I'm going to pick a new number. I want everybody to have a good chance, you know? Ready, set, go. 31. Closest without going over. Oh, look at Ellen. Ellen has Christina has 31. Right on. All right, and I'll pick one more number. Do you guys think this is fair, the way I'm doing it? You had 30, I know, but Christina had 31. And I'm only picking one winner per round. Because I am the boss. Okay. All right. And the last one. Good luck, everybody. Ready, set, go. 39. Oops. Look at Terry Brett has 38. Ah, Belinda, I think Terry beat you out. Terry Brett beat you out. Sorry, dude. I'll see if the mods agree with me. Okay, Terry, I know I have your address. Christina, I think I know I have yours because it's is it the same Christina? I'm just checking. Yeah, Christina. Okay, Kat says Terry with 38. Okay, well, I'm doing this all week. So I've got Sharon Lombard. I know I have your address. Starla, I know I have yours. So nobody needs to send me their address because I have everybody's address this week. So, and actually, when I looked last week, I think I had everybody's last week as well. So, all right, there will be Happy Mail headed your way. And it's for the scavenger hunt, so there's no rush. But I will definitely try and get it out quickly. I know it. You don't want to sit around and wait. All right, so let me put the star in each of the globes, or the ornaments. Sorry, Belinda, not sorry. All right, get the panda fly. Yeah, I like that. That'd be fun, Devin. If you do, post it so I can see. I like when people play along. And what else did I say to remind me of, you guys? And I may go in and mess with those trees. Yeah, I like this star too. So, yeah, I will go ahead and take a photo of it, and I will put. Oh, I know what else. You guys didn't remind me. What the hell? If you have to take notes while you're here to remind me of stuff that I tell you to remind me of, I got to put these little doodads back in. And put some strings so they're not just sitting out here in the middle of nowhere. Know what I mean, Jelly Bean? Oh, that one I got real off center. Who cares? Gold string. Outline the baubles. I could do that too, Terry. Should I do that with silver? Come on, pen. Work with me here. I do want to get the string somewhat straight. Know what I mean? And I think I'll have the string. Well, that one has to go on top of, but I think the rest of them I will put behind. You don't think it needs outlining? I think the white really pops against that dark background. You guys, if you don't have one of these see-through grid rulers, get one. Your life will be so much better. This one I'm going to have go behind this bauble. The other one has to go on top because that's the way I painted it. This one has to go on top. But it's so easy to line up and get a straight line with one of these see-through rulers. So if you don't have one, ask for one. Go sit on Santa's lap and beg like the little wimp that you are. But yeah, get yourself one of these see-through rulers. Okay, Lisa's saying it doesn't need it. I would almost did a oh man, I almost did a page out of the Sock Monkey book that Astrid sent today. But then Dee Dee was coloring this morning. I thought they're going to be so sick of coloring. I'm not going to do that. Okay, this one we're going to do different. We're going to do this part down here behind the ornament. And then up here, it'll go in front. How about that, sports fans? Don't go over those pens when they're still wet. Yeah, that's better. I like that. What'd Devin say? Janet wants just, well, of course, Devin, just don't do it in the men's room. Go to an authorized strange men's store. You guys, I'm liking it. I like this a lot. And I don't think I'm going to outline them. I don't. I think they work just fine the way they are. I really do. I'm happy with it. So let's go ahead and get the white pen out. And down here we will sign. And it's 12:25. There we go. Thanks, Bossy Butt. I'm liking it. And I didn't go, excuse me, too much over. Thanks, Kat. Thanks for being the most awesome mod that you are. Lap dance to Santa Baby. Yeah, now we're talking, Judy. Oh, when are we going? All right, you guys. I know your time is valuable. I really do. And I know you probably dread coming here and putting up with my nonsense, but I appreciate you spending your time with me. Yeah, thanks. Thanks so much. Try and stay happy. It's holiday seasons and you have to love everybody. Be kind. All right, you guys. Love you so much. I'll see you later. Post yours, Terry Brett. All right. Bye now.